everyone, this is Thom. I'm at Chicago O'Hare Station.
Classic train YouTuber slip-up, saying station when you mean airport.
In the United Terminal, standing next to the dinosaur, and look at that, he's wearing a mask.
This kind of reminds me of a different encounter here in Chicago with these prehistoric health experts. Dinosaurs, COVID, and Chicago. Must be a thing.
Today we're flying to Amsterdam. We're flying through Newark, and the plane to Newark is going to be a 737, and that's not really the plane I'm excited about. The plane I'm excited about is the 787 Dreamliner from Newark to Amsterdam.
Before we move on, a fun fact about Chicago O'Hare Airport. This airport is massive and the schedule is very tight. So oftentimes, flights come in parallel and land at the same time on different runways. This means that if you're sitting in a plane, you can usually see the other plane that has your slot from the window if you're sitting on the right side. Also, if you want more interesting travel reviews, either by train or by plane or by bus, consider subscribing to Trains Are Awesome. We have so much cool content every week.
Currently in Terminal E and F, and we have to go to C. Wow, this tunnel really brings back nostalgia. One thing that has changed about O'Hare Airport is the AirTrain. Last time I was here, it was the old thing, you know, the red trains that are now out of commission, and then the line was closed for a while, and now it's the new trains, and they're blue. This is what they look like. So this is my first time riding a Dreamliner. Bear has actually been on a Dreamliner several times, my brother, but for some reason I always lucked out, so we'll see if they really are all the rage.
But first, of course, the flight from Chicago to Newark. This was on a Boeing 737-800-900, which of course is much older, but still it was a very comfortable flight and had more than just the basics. There was a power socket and there was even mood lighting. Now, I love flying into Newark because it gives you fantastic views of Manhattan. But because it was nighttime, instead of the familiar skyline, we saw the city lights, which of course were still very pretty. One thing I noticed is that these domestic flights in the US are super crowded again. And it had me a little bit worried because I had a very short layover here at Newark.
So I'm at Newark Airport right now. Normally what I like to do here is see if I can see the view of Manhattan, because that's my favorite place ever. Well, A, it's dark out, and B, my flight's already boarding. Oh hey, my phone remembers the Newark Airport Wi-Fi.
Well, the line to board my flight to Amsterdam was super long because of COVID. There's a lot of passport checks and it's a whole mess. But here's the 787 I'm about to get on. These are my very first steps on board a Boeing Dreamliner, and although the seats look the same as in the 737, it looks comfortable. This plane is spacious. It feels different. It really does. I don't know how to describe it, but I was very happy stepping onto this 787. I had an exit row seat this time because I thought that would be nice, and it is. I could stare straight into the galley if that's what you're into. Time to buckle up, and then we'll review our seat. So first, a couple of the positives. There is a lot of legroom, and when I mean a lot, there is a lot. And there were power sockets. They actually worked, so that was nice. Here's the control booth for your entertainment system. I didn't use this much, but if you want to recline the seat, it's that weird rectangular button, which is different from the regular circles. Padding in the headrests. I was in Economy Plus apparently. And the table pops out of the armrest just like in any other plane. It was kind of gross, but not as bad as I've seen before. The real bummer of sitting in the exit row, and the reason I don't want to do this again, is there's no window. You're literally just sitting there by the door. Oh, here we have some mood lighting. This was much nicer than the 737, and now we're watching a video on why flying during COVID is safe. Basically, your chances of getting sick on a plane are very, very, very low, especially if you're careful. Now we're leaving New York City. Bye. I'll miss you. And this is Long Island at night. What a beautiful sight. Now, I should take a nap, but you know what? I never do that on airplanes. Not because I'm against them, but because I just can't seem to do it. So, I waited for dinner, which came pretty soon. Here I am enjoying one of my favorite soft drinks. And remember, when you're on a plane, you can take your mask down for eating and drinking, but put it right back up. It's just courteous. Here's dinner. It was pretty good. I was not enjoying the quinoa salad, but the hot meal and the bun and the ice cream were delicious. So you know what? I always like to think of me just paying for the plane ticket, and the food is a bonus. Time to stretch the old legs. Because there was barely anyone on this flight, I didn't feel embarrassed to go to the bathroom and climb over someone. So I think I went like 5 times. No emergency airport pee at Amsterdam this time. The bathroom is modern and it works fine. It's a little bit nicer than on a regular plane. The water was warm. Yeah, definitely a good bathroom experience. But while I was in the bathroom at least twice, we hit some turbulence and this light pops up asking you to go back to your seat. So let's turn the camera off and turn our entertainment system on. I had to figure this out for a little bit because it wasn't very self-explanatory, but if you flip that ledge, then the thing pops right out. You can twist it. Obviously, it's a more modern screen than in other airplanes, and once you turn it on, you have a customization option, and then it shows you what your itinerary is. So there's meals, there's sleep time, haha, nice one. And then if you keep clicking on, your entertainment system opens. Movies are listed A to Z, not the widest variety of movies I've ever seen, but I kept myself entertained and watched a few movies that I hadn't seen yet. If you don't want to watch a movie, there's a lot of options, such as relax mode or a screen that says remind me when my meal is coming. I chose relax mode and watched this school of fish with a dolphin swimming around it. What was that about a nap again? No time. Alright, maybe just a short one. I popped in my TV and look, this is what a regular seat looks like. I know that on the way back I'm trying a regular seat. Even if you don't have the leg room, I just love the window. And there's something special about Boeing 787 windows, which I will show you right now. Instead of the regular sun shield that you can just slide up and down that either completely blocks out the sun, doesn't block out the sun, and is always a source of conflict with whoever's sitting next to you, the 787 has dimmer buttons. You press the button and the window is supposed to get dimmer. I didn't see it happen, but that was probably because it was dark out. The emergency exit has it too. As we were flying over Britain, it was time for a light breakfast. And when I say light breakfast, I mean light breakfast. Time to smell the yogurt. Do I like this? Yes, I do like this. Time for a bite. It's okay. And then, when it was still dark out, we landed in Amsterdam. Now I tried to look out the window and see if I could see anything familiar, but the fog was so thick you could barely make out the lights on the tarmac. And here we are at Amsterdam. Time to take my tiny backpack out of the container. Walk through the jet bridge. Oh look, there's the Olympic KLM airplane. And all sorts of other interesting things you can see at Amsterdam, like this Burger King Whopper that was conveniently located between the escalator and the wall. And this dude having a blast driving his car thing.
Well, I made it to Amsterdam. It's funny, normally I feel a lot worse when I get here. Like more tired and sad and... Anyways, I keep forgetting how dark it is in the morning here. Like, nighttime in the winter in the Netherlands is ridiculously long. So out of the window I saw nothing. But let me tell you, once you fly Dreamliner, how can you really go back? Waiting here for my suitcase. I wonder if the baggage area of the Dreamliner is as nice as the passenger area. I'm pretty sure my next flight to Newark in a couple weeks is also Dreamliner, so we'll see if we can add some more shots then.
We had a great couple of weeks in the Netherlands. My girlfriend Lindsey came over, and this was her first time in the country, so we did lots of sightseeing, and of course we rode lots of trains as well, because that's what you have to do when you're here. And at the end of the trip, she even left the Netherlands as my fiancé. So let's get back to the 787, shall we?
On the flight back, I got a regular seat instead of an exit row seat. So I'm going to show you a few more scenes of the flight from Amsterdam to Newark, this time on a 787 with the new blue United tail. So we noticed this plane was different. That's because it's a 787-8. And today I am with the always lovely Lindsey. Let's hope the window works this time. I want to see how that works.
It's all the way down, looks like. Well, you can see it.
Ooh. So while we weren't looking, it turned completely black. They're also playing Christmas music.
Because of the pandemic, these transatlantic flights were so empty. I really hope this is all over soon. We messed around with the screen for a little bit, which is now in the back of the seat in front of us. Here's our itinerary, and here's a map of the Netherlands, which we're about to say goodbye to. Lindsey changed her screen to a dark screen that said, "Wake me up when there's a meal," and she took a nap. I decided to look out the window because that bluish tint that it gave made the sky look beautiful. Notice how the wing is curved? That is a special feature of the 787 to improve its performance. What's that? Oh, Lindsey tells me that I took a nap too. I guess I can take naps on airplanes, however, it couldn't have been that long. Guy Fieri made us wish that we had something better than plain food, and Friends is always good for a laugh or a feel of nostalgia. I spoke too soon with the Guy Fieri thing. We had good plain food. These hot paninis were the best thing I have ever eaten on an airplane in my entire life. Pretty soon, we were at Newark Airport, but before we leave, check out the business class. Wouldn't that be sweet? That'll be out of my price range for the next couple of decades. Here's a United plane with that new blue tail in front of the magnificent Manhattan skyline. Oh my goodness, I love this place. I was feeling a little bit bittersweet here at Newark because this was probably my last time riding the AirTrain. If I recall correctly, the Newark AirTrain is scheduled to be replaced in one of these years, and I don't know when I'll be back here. I'm gonna miss it because I loved riding these monorails. Not only is a monorail fun, you get your own compartments in these trains, and the views of the planes, and especially of Manhattan, Thank you so much for watching today, and please consider subscribing to Trains Are Awesome because next week we'll have another great trip report from somewhere in the world. And to stay up to date on all our travels and adventures, make sure to follow us here on YouTube, on Instagram, and maybe even on TikTok. We'll see you next time.